Well, this is exciting. Today marks my 1-year anniversary of my interest in photography. To celebrate, I decided to go camera thrifting. Oh. This is the Beacon 2 from White House Productions. It is from the 50s, so this is over 60 years old by this point. And it takes 120 film. So if you're used to 35mm cameras like this one, this Beacon camera might seem a little confusing because there is no film advance lever on this camera. How it works is you would have your medium format film in here and then run it across and put it into an old medium format spool, and this side is the winder. And something that's a little surprising to me is that they've put a silent ratchet in this. Aside from all that, it does this. And the shutter button is just the most wonderful action for a shutter button that I've ever used. And it sounds great too. You also have a bulb mode for long exposure. So I was a little surprised at first to see that it had a locking mechanism such that when it's collapsed, the shutter does not fire. So that is actually a pretty nice feature. There is absolutely no protection against double exposures on this camera. I'm gonna have to be careful if I ever get around to shooting with this. One other thing that's kind of funny, even though this uses taller film, it's still shorter than my A1. Look at that. I did check to make sure that it fired properly. So obviously 120 film is a different standard of film than 127. So I looked it up and it does have ample backing paper to not need me to cover up these two little portholes. One thing I find kind of neat about this is looking through the viewfinder, you know, it's a viewfinder, but also when you undo the back, half of the viewfinder comes this way and half of it comes the other way. So there's two lenses, and in a similar way you can see that there's a lens here for the main lens as well as a lens here. So this is a compound lens, which I'm a little bit surprised about, honestly, for a little camera like this that goes for $50 today. Overall, this is a really solid camera so far. Comment if you want to see me shoot with this. I probably will either way. One last thing before we go. This is something from the 50s, and things were built different in the 50s. So, as you can see, this is pretty darn hollow on the inside, and it folds up to be not too substantial in the hands. So let's see how it weighs against a camera of only slightly smaller proportions. So let's find out. I'll take this camera and everything you need to make it work. That is 8 ounces. Then I'll take this camera and everything you need to make it work. 5. That's 3 ounces heavier. Oh my goodness.